audience comes along, they write a report, they write a description, they write the location, the time, and they press save. That report then comes into a page, which has alongside it the date, the location, and whether it's been verified or not. Until it's verified, it's grayed out, and this is red, and it says no. As soon as Al Jazeera, which is the brand on this page, has found an independent source to verify this, it turns to yes. This is like having millions of free stringers around the world. The beauty of this system is also that you can legitimately carry unsubstantiated rumor until it's made to be fact. Because here, grayed out, but still able to be read, is a story. It may not have happened. When it does, when it's been verified, it becomes green. This is just an example of a broadcaster I think has made a good move into trying to move with the times and gate-crash the social networking party in a way that's meaningful. I've been working, sorry.
What was the name of this open source program?
I'll tell you at the end. It's Ushahadi. I'll give it to you at the end, but you can download it free of charge. Another organisation that I was asked to work with was LiveStation. This allows the streaming of live TV over broadband. Some of you that were in a little earlier before we started probably saw me flicking between channels such as Press TV in Tehran, Al Jazeera, BBC, France 24, Euronews, Russia Today. This allows you to watch any news organisation's TV in the world on your desktop. But more than that, I was brought in as an editorial consultant, and we wanted to take it to the next level. We wanted the audience that was watching the TV to be able to comment in real time through chat with the producers of the TV, with their comments being used on the TV, being put to the guests being interviewed on TV, and have a dynamic impact on live TV. So no longer a solitary experience of sending in an SMS text message or a phone-in or an email. This is a community, growing community of people watching live TV and giving feedback. What we did, oops, sorry. So you probably saw it on the screen. Here it is on the being a screen grab. Carousel takes you through, and here's the important point. Here's all the chat room around Al Jazeera. When we did the presidential debate in America between McCain and Obama in the American presidential debates, we had 500 people in the chat room. We had Al Jazeera producers sitting in the chat room, taking selected comments, putting them through to the studio to be used as tickers along the bottom of the screen and being put to the guests. We then had an amazing dynamic. We had the situation where people listening to the post-debate debate, the discussion after the debate, started to challenge some of the things the candidates had said. And they started not only to challenge them, but to post URLs which led to links which either confirmed or challenged what they were saying. You had like a living live Wikipedia with a global perspective. And then they were talking about things like what's going to happen in China post-Beijing Olympics. And someone in the chat room chatted, I'm from Shanghai, I think this. Wow, that's interesting. You know, you suddenly get people from the different countries. They were talking in the debate about the strength of Al-Qaeda in North Africa. And you had a guy from Morocco and someone from Tunisia coming in and just discussing this live. So it's about bringing the audience back into the experience. Here's some chat room comments being used in the live output at the bottom of the screen. Taking live voting of people who are watching. So the audience is watching something and asking the audience, what did you think of that? What's your view on this? Give them a panel of yes, no, maybe answers. Give them 60 seconds. They pick and press live in the chat room, and up comes on the TV a graphic with the instant vote of a global audience of whatever many people are watching. This is about engaging with. This is taking the audience, participating in. This is where the broadcast app model has died, and we've got to think of where we move now. Very important for all the people in this room who I learnt over lunch are writing or finding material and who are blogging. Now, here is a traditional newsroom. Excuse me. This is, on the left, is what's called a converged newsroom, where the journalists working for TV, radio, and online will often work together. But on the right is a picture I took off the web. This is basically only a sausage factory. Journalism is very often just formulaic. They come in the morning and they read the same papers, they listen to the same output, they view the same wires all through a little computer screen, they talk to the same content. You know, old traditional media has a long way to go to catch up with what you guys are doing. Now, here are a few people I think are heroes and people I've worked with who I think have a story to tell. This is Veran Matic, who's the CEO of B92 in Serbia. This is Mesrop Mojzovan, who runs A1 Plus television in Yerevan, Armenia. And this is Juan Ruben Zamora, who is the editor-in-chief of El Periodico newspaper in Guatemala. And the story's in brief. I don't know how I'm doing for time. Ruth, give me a go like that when I'm going too long. This is Guatemala. For anyone that doesn't know where it is, I'm sure you do, but there's Central America and there's Guatemala. This is the paper, El Periodico. This is Juan Ruben Zamora, who one the day I went to visit him a few years back, published an article that's taken 6 years to research, which linked the government of Alfonso Portillo with organized crime, drug smuggling, narcotics, all sorts of devious and underhand operations. Unsurprisingly, 36 bullets were fired into Zamora's house. He was then kidnapped, blindfolded, with his family, his 2 children, and subject to blank gunshot mock execution in his own house. He built a website, very, very forward-thinking in that time. This is going back to 2004. Very forward-thinking because there's only 3% internet penetration at that time in Guatemala. But he knew that if he built a website and he broadcast a story saying, "Help, we're under attack," it would be picked up by the wealthy Guatemalans living in San Diego and Duluth who had influence, it would be picked up by the international news organizations, it would be circulated as a news story, there would be calls for intervention, and he would likely be safer than if he just had a print run, which could be silenced by stopping the ink trucks getting there, stopping the paper getting there, or worst of all, killing the editor. So his website, his new media, if you like, strategy, was an insurance policy for media freedom. In Serbia, you all know where Serbia is, down here. B92, we've spoken about B92. I went over there to help, through this European Agency of Reconstruction, build sustainable media, worked with the journalists there, worked with Veran Matic to build a strong media operation, wanting to become the most trusted brand in the Balkans. And his aim has always been to embrace the bloggers. He's one of the most forward-thinking journalists I've worked with. Again, while we're there, they face the risks. They have grenades thrown at their trucks when they're covering Kosovo. They get attacked, but they survive. But it's people like him who show what mainstream media should be. It's not about having a secure job and having a pension at the end and having a nice big house in Europe somewhere or Britain, north of London, and being comfortable. Because in many countries in the West, journalists are taken out and wined and dined by the rich and powerful. In these countries, journalists are taken out by bullets and bombs. There's no wining and dining first. And it's a massive price they pay. And the bloggers are key to this too. Armenia, crucial place just above Iran, Georgia to the north, Turkey, Azerbaijan, just another border. This in Armenia, have we got Ivan, have we got the volume on this? I'd just like to show you an evening bulletin by traditional, it won't take too long, but this is just, when you turn on the main news in the evening, this is what you get. This is just to warm the audience up, to get them in the mood for a bit of propaganda. You start to feel good about your country. You just want to kill someone. Weapons. So this is your evening news bulletin. Stand by for the news. It goes on a bit. And then this bloke comes. I filmed this in my hotel room, so excuse the wobbly camera. It was a little Casio. Cost me about 50 euros in Britain. It's one of the ones you get in the airport. So it's not very good quality, but it does the job. So this is the